Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the weekend update. Going to start this week's video with a different chart than usual. We're actually going to look at the Dow Transports stock. And the reason we're going to take a look at this is it is flashing some signals that we need to be probably aware of, at least for the next month or two. Now, this past week was very choppy. It was an options expiration week, which tends to see the only people who usually make money in options, the brokers and the option writers, do whatever they could to wipe out as much of the call and put option as they can. And in this day and age, with so many newbies attracted to the option market, we see the extreme dips that they end up doing each and every month lately. But this is the Dow Transports, and this is actually the weekly chart. And you can see we're in this downtrend right now on the weekly. It's been a phenomenal move from the lows. If we check out the daily chart, though, more of the same, just slow bleed. Now, the Dow Transport stocks includes a lot of airlines, so people would probably try and discount the move in this, saying, yeah, it's the airline stocks with some worry about COVID blowing up all over the world and here in the US. But if we look at the SPRT, the XTN, this is the SPY, and this actually has more transportation type stocks, railways, etc. And you can see here there is a pronounced downtrend in here, and this is telling us that the breathtaking rally that we've seen in the economy is slowing down, because if we have no need to ship goods, that's probably not a good thing. Now, that's been reflected in the continued strength we see in the Qs. Just like last year, whenever we see weakness in the economy, the money moves to the tech stocks. It's actually been MIA in what we would normally see in the small cap stocks, which continue to trade in this really tight range. Dow chart, double top possibly in place here. Now, what does all this mean, you're asking me? We're quickly approaching August, and a lot of traders, especially ones who showed up trading last year, got blindsided by the August sell-off that we saw last year. Now, there was a couple of things, I went over that in the chat room on Friday, of why we had such an extreme sell-off last August. We were 3 months into utter mania. July was unbelievable, but then we had the fake Sputnik vaccine, and then we also had the SoftBank options strategy that blew up, that caused a lot of selling out there. Now is a time to probably be cautious. As I've been saying, I continue to look for my cash level to be 80 to 90%. I think right now I'm sitting around 82-ish% in my swing account, and that's a good level for me going forward. I'm going to take each day as it appears and look for trades based on that, but have a mind out there that we do see a lot of weakness out there. The action that we've seen last week, there is action right now. Don't get me wrong. This market is way better than what we saw in April and May, where we saw new highs, but everything was essentially dead. The volatility was gone. Volatility is back. And if you're positioned correctly, if you're not overbuying in stocks, if you've got a great stash of cash sitting on the sidelines, you can take advantage of this opportunity. My strategy is I like to sleep at night, which means not a whole lot of exposure. And then I come in each day and I look for opportunities. Now, as I said, there was lots of opportunities this week, but the action and the type of stocks we're seeing move is another cautionary warning for me out there. We are seeing 5 or 6 stocks every day in small cap land trading 100, 200 million shares. And most of these stocks that are doing that, I like to refer as garbage trucks. And it's just the algos and scanner chasers chasing whatever garbage one particular hedge fund or algo decided, yep, today's the day for this one. Not very healthy. And then because those are the stocks that are moving a lot, you have a lot of traders pile into that. And as you've probably noticed, you see volumes have started to go lower and lower in most stocks out there. And whenever we see a little blip in the market, you see the bids get pulled and traders rush out the door. Now, that actually is a trading opportunity if you're positioned in cash and ready to pounce, where you see the bids just disappear in a lot of these stocks, especially some of these high riders. You could see one of these stocks at 550 on a 100 million volume day. Blink and the thing's down at $5, 505, setting up a nice bounce. Those are the kinds of trades that are doing very, very well right now. But anyway, let's look at some plays. AI, just look at AI's chart. I use this as a barometer for the overall speculative market, and you can see it broke down through that support level this past week. So, I mean, this action in AI, when you're looking and going, man, this market kind of sucks, there's not really a lot of good action. Well, look at our speculative barometer right here, AI, and you can see, you know, it's saying exactly what kind of action we're seeing out there. Tesla, going into this week, going to be really interesting. They had their news this weekend that they're launching their subscription program for their self-driving, $199 a month. It's sitting right above the 200-day moving average and right at an uptrend support level. So this stock, quotation marks, could and should bounce back to the $700 level. This will be a big test on whether we're going to see a retrace in the tech stocks this week. Anyway, let's jump into some stock plays. SPRT merger play, still stuck in this pretty wide trading range. It's starting to get a lot more media attention regarding its high short interest. We just need the algos to show up and go, yep, today is your day. You have been blessed, and away you go. And that's essentially how I'm approaching that one. Of course, we also have to watch ANY, also a green Bitcoin mining energy play. Bitcoin's probably going to have a big test this week. We're approaching some key support levels on a lot of the crypto, so it's going to be interesting to see if we get the bounce backs in those. Now, speaking of stocks actually moving, let me look here at the daily chart. VERB, as I had speculated when I jumped into my swing down here in the low ones, when they found out that Microsoft was officially being used, they would chase this stock. And boy, have they chased. I mean, look at these guys. We knew the news down here, and yet they're chasing it all up here, following the robotic traders who do that kind of stuff. On the 1 hour chart, what a great trader. This thing loves to bounce off its uptrend line. Awesome daily trader. Could see another dip under the 3, you know, down to the 275.80 level. My stops on my swing, I did say 275 on my stops on the remaining free shares I have in I might give them a little bit more room just looking at this chart with an eye on probably 260 maybe being my stop and where I would look to add, and probably a 250 stop where the 50-day is. That's at least going to be my plan going into this week. INUV is my backup play for VERB. The under $1 stocks have really been out of vogue in the last month, even with the kind of big news we have out there. INUV last week came out and said one of the top 5 companies in the world, and you know who they are. It's probably Microsoft, but it could be Google, it could be Facebook, could be Apple. Increased their business with INUV 400%. This reminds me a lot of VERB, where we knew they were going to announce a Microsoft press release. Can you imagine what they'll do on this one if we actually get these guys to officially name what that stock is? Rock solid support right here in the 80-cent level. Continues to sit is one of my favorite swing plays right now. Another one, UAMY. Monster update from them a couple of weeks ago, and yet the market is still yawning. If we had this Embry news back in January, this would have been a $5 stock probably, in my opinion. Now you can see here on the chart, we have what I refer to as an ascending triangle. This is, you can see these little triangles, bumps into resistance, comes back down. We are on the third breakout possible triangle here right now, and it projects to a really big move. Now what this stock needs is a break and a close over one, and the robots to show up like they did earlier this year, and this one is going to be a very fun swing in my opinion. VISL. VISL is one of the most undervalued tech stocks in my opinion. The Olympics are next week. These guys are an Olympic play. Bezos space launch next week. These guys are a space play. It's sitting right above its 200-day moving average. It's sitting at an uptrend line. This is a stock that likes to range up and range down and is a favorite of the shorts, but then it also, because of that, gives nice bounce backs. This should be a nice week for VISL, and that's all I'm going to say. SYPR, another one. I'm just blown away by the cheapness of this stock given everything that they do. NASA Artemis play. Lockheed Martin is starting to push forward on the Artemis rockets and all the tech they're doing. These guys are a play on that. Rock solid setup. I actually added this one to my long-term position because two of the hottest sectors I see going forward are EV slash battery power and backup and space. So I've got my 4 plays for that sector from the small cap. In space, I've got SYPR, I've got VISL, and I've got GSAT. And on the alternative energy side, I've got AEI and SUNW as my Powerwall solar type plays. And that's what I'm looking at right now. SNMP, like I said, a lot like VERB. You can put the research out there, people can read it, but until they're able to chase scanners, because most traders don't put the work in to actually do research, and this is what happened. I was looking for that move to 146, and what a week, all the way up there. RSI is overbought. I booked half my position because that's what you do when you trade like a robot. I would add back my position if it got pushed back down under 120 is my thinking going into this week. MTSL merger play blew up a week ago, 894, and then came all the way back down. Their merger vote is this week. It's going to be merging into a sports betting company. RSI looking for an excuse to break 50. We're actually looking at the 1-hour chart right now. Everything looks good on this one. This should be a very nice week for this one. Ntec is another merger play. I really like this play. It's been trying to break out over the last couple of days with some nice moves up and down. As you read in the little bit of DD I did on this one, they've got 2 potentially big pieces of news coming, and you know my feeling. When you know news is coming, I view those as some of the safest swing plays. Those are the swings I really like. We're about to get a positive MACD cross on this one as well. So this is a wait and see for news. And then it doesn't hurt that it's got a nice low float and shorts are all over it. ELTK. This is an example of the maddening, frustrating part of this market. When you see the garbage trucks going up massively, and then you have stocks like this that are actually profitable and no one wants anything to do with it. Still a nice uptrend in place. There is news due on these guys as well. So one of these days, if we get that news, especially in this environment, it could be one that the robots really, really latch onto. CHCI is another one. Profitable stock, back down at the bottom of this range here. This looks like it could be a little juicy pickup here early this week, even just for a range move back up to the mid-6s. Profitable. Housing, real estate play. We also have an update on that. The housing starts this week, so this could be a play on that economic data. AEI, I mentioned that. I actually own this one long term. I picked up a swing position on this one right now because, the Elon Musk tweets and chatter and the Tesla news out there, this stock shouldn't be down here. It's just a favorite of the shorts, and it gives nice little ranges back and forth. So top of the range, $6 breakout. I'm okay picking up shares down here, but that's me. Last stock I wanted to mention really quickly is OGEN. This is a small swing play for me. It's really a play on the Delta variant, which is now really picking up steam in the news, and really a reason that we're seeing the large caps start to get hammered. A huge spike in unvaccinated cases all over the country. You got more countries starting to see huge case numbers, and OGEN is overdue for an update on their COVID drug. These COVID drugs aren't done yet, and this stock, especially if the pennies wake up soon, is nicely positioned here for a solid bounce back. So that's it for the video, guys. Like I said, I'm going to trade what's out there, but I'm being cautious. That's what a trader does. I know we're coming up to August, and a lot of traders who experienced it last year are feeling highly cautious. That's not a bad thing, but you also can't go high under the rock as well. You got to have a plan, got to have cash, and you got to be ready to adapt to what the market does. So that's it, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I will see you all in the chat room tomorrow. Bye.